Full self-driving is a term pretty heavily touted by Tesla's marketing department. Despite what the name may lead you to believe, full self-driving is not really full self-driving. Tesla explains on the website that your vehicle will be able to drive itself almost anywhere with minimal driver intervention and will continuously improve. Despite its apparent need for minimal driver intervention, Tesla explicitly states, a few paragraphs prior, both its autopilot and its full self-driving modes require a fully attentive driver who has their hands on the wheel and is prepared to take over at any moment. The currently enabled features do not make the vehicle autonomous. This leads to a lot more questions than answers. Why is it called full self-driving if it's not full self-driving? Why is it called autopilot if in reality it's just lane assist and cruise control? Is there such a thing as a self-driving car? My parents took a trip to Arizona not too long ago. While they were there, they sent me a picture of this thing. It's a car, a Jaguar I-Pace to be specific, that looks almost mutated. The company responsible for unleashing this thing onto public roads is Waymo, formerly known as Google's self-driving car project. To be frank, this thing is no joke. Waymo's website has a page explaining how their vehicles operate. The thing looks mutated because, essentially, it is. The I-Paces in Waymo's fleet are pretty heavily modified. The growths surrounding the front, sides, and back of the car are all camera clusters, and each car has a total of 29. But there are some things going on under the hood. Did I really write that into the script? Completely serious. That aren't as noticeable from the outside, which is a shame, because the things that you don't see are the most interesting parts of the car, in my opinion. For starters, every Waymo 1, that's what they're calling them, has radar and LiDAR built in. We're going to talk more about those in a little bit. They also have a pretty hefty amount of trunk space partitioned for the car's onboard computer, which Waymo claims to have the latest server-grade CPUs and GPUs. Because Waymo 1s don't ever expect to have a human being behind the wheel who could intervene in the case of an error or oversight or miscalculation, the car needs to be able to do all the thinking that driving requires, and it needs to be able to do it reliably. There are two parts to making a self-driving car. First, you have to figure out a way for the car to see the world around it. The car needs to be able to receive as much information about its surroundings as possible. It then needs to be able to understand and interpret that information and make decisions based on it. So the car needs to have enough information in order to make an informed decision, and it also needs to have a computer robust enough to make those decisions reliably and quickly. This is where Waymo's model excels. The ones are able to learn about their surroundings not only through camera feeds, but through radar and LiDAR as well. The car's computer, which has been trained in simulations on closed courses and has undergone various hazard/accident tests, is able to use data it's gathered from those experiences and apply its learned logic to new situations. It's very thorough, and safety is very clearly a priority. As of right now, today, April 22nd, 2024, there are only 2 instances of Waymo accidents I was able to find. The first was on December 11th, 2023, when 2 Waymo 1s crashed into the same truck because they had mistaken the pickup being towed as an operational vehicle. The second was on February 8th, where a Waymo 1 struck a cyclist it had failed to see behind a truck, resulting in minor injuries. 17 fatalities, 736 crashes. The shocking toll of Tesla's autopilot is an article written by Faiz Siddiqui and Jeremy B. Merrill for Washington Post, published in June of 2023. That number, 736, represents U.S. crashes involving Teslas in autopilot mode since 2019. The article reveals numerous issues with Tesla's automation. Decisions made by CEO Elon Musk specifically, quote, appear to have contributed to the reported uptick in incidents, according to experts who spoke with the Post. These decisions include the gradual replacement of radar and ultrasonic sensors in Teslas with Tesla Vision, a process which started in 2021. According to a report published in SF Gate, the radar decision specifically was Musk's. This is a huge problem. Let's return to the... Just to reiterate, Waymo's system looks like this. And Tesla's looks like this. Are you starting to see the problem with this? Tesla's engineers sure did. That's why, according to that SF Gate report from before, quote, some Tesla engineers contacted a trusted former executive for advice on how to talk Musk out of it. Without radar, Teslas would be susceptible to basic perception errors if the cameras were obscured by raindrops or even bright sunlight. Which they were! According to Zachary Shahan, writing for clean tech website Clean Technica, quote, this was quite light rain. I tried to turn on FSD to see how it did in these conditions. It wouldn't turn on. Apparently the little bit of rain we were getting was too much of a challenge for my car's cameras. This article also quotes a few Twitter users, specifically Jack Hopman. Quote, FSD 12.3.4 turned left from a straight-only lane coming out of a very popular mall parking lot. Someone was right next to me in the correct left turn lane, and it cut them off. Awkward. 12.3.4 also tried to stop at a green light, almost creating a rear-end collision. He ends with, it pains me to mention the problems here, which is not an uncommon sentiment among Tesla owners, who want to love their car despite it repeatedly risking their safety. Buyer's remorse? Sunk cost fallacy? Divorced dad syndrome? I'm not sure. Tesla's full self-driving is so dangerous that it killed a man in 2022. That man is Hans von Ohain, a former Tesla employee who was driving home at about 6 in the morning when the auto drive feature on the Tesla caused the car to run straight off the road, according to the only other passenger, Eric Roster, in a 911 call. The Washington Post ran a story on the incident in 2024 in which they deduced that the full self-driving system likely was engaged. Also, more than 2 million Teslas were recalled at the end of last year due to safety concerns over the car's autopilot system. So what have we learned? Well, cars can sort of drive themselves, but there's a massive asterisk pinned onto the end of that statement. The only way a car can pilot itself reliably and safely is when it has as many perception systems as possible. Right now, no one can realistically own a self-driving car. And no matter what car you drive, you should try to keep your hands on the wheel.